Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language. And
Amy.
how did you know? How did you know?
Amy, I told you bitches from the beginning that Teresa was manipulating this whole fucking situation.
Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we... I got nothing, Steph. I got nothing. I'm brain dead. Can you fill in here?
A podcast where we tell you we love you in front of your family and then say, hey, haha, JK, just kidding.
Psych! Do you remember Psych when we were young?
Of course. Psych!
Oh, yeah. You'd be like, I love you, Psych.
That's exactly what happened.
Gerry pulled the ultimate psych out. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Gerry pulled the ultimate psych. I love it.
We are here today. I'm Amy Archer. I'm here with the noodle to my sauce, Steph, and we are here to talk about Golden Bach. The finale. It's what we've all been waiting for. I was right. Can I do a victory lap? I was right. I knew he was going to pick her. I knew it from the beginning. No, I shouldn't say that because I was like bragging that he was going to pick Joan from the beginning. Okay.
I know.
And I do think if Joan stayed, he probably would have picked her.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Here's my thing with Teresa. I would like to address why people seem to hate her so much.
Okay.
I feel like people tend to generally root for the underdog, and so many of us women of a certain age saw ourselves in Leslie, you know, somebody who might not have great credit, doesn't have an amazing financial background, made some mistakes in loves, got a couple ex-husbands trailing along. Who amongst us, right?
Right.
So I feel like a lot of us saw ourselves in her. And of course, Teresa, the goody two-shoes, got picked.
Right.
Because she was the girl in high school who got picked for everything.
And first.
Yes. And so I feel like there's a little bit of that. And I don't think Teresa's a bad person. I really don't.
No, I don't either.
I don't think she's deserving of the hate that she's getting. I just think, unfortunately, she comes off as somebody who's, you know, kind of lived a life of privilege in that she gets everything she wants. However, she's been with that guy, Billy, since she was 14.
I know. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Like,
all right.
Oh, I hated her. I mean, I called her Saw for weeks.
She does look like Saw, but I will tell you this. I thought that was some bad plastic surgery, but we saw footage and pictures of her as a young person.
Yeah.
That's not plastic surgery.
No. Bonkers, right?
If she was involved in the Saw franchise, the film franchise, that happened as a young woman.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about it. Now, let me ask you a question. Would you cover the Golden Bachelorette?
100,000,000% yes.
Okay. Steph and I talked about this, and she's like, do you think we should cover the regular Bachelor? And I'm like, absolutely not. What makes this fun is that it's older people.
I know.
Oldies like us trying to find love on the Bachelor.
I know. But, you know.
That's what makes it fun.
I know. Right. Absolutely right. It's just, you know.
I'm not interested in seeing 20 really hot 20-somethings competing for a
That's
man.
A good
not
point.
Interested.
That's a really good point. And I would agree with that. Although, what I will say this week is I was not expecting Charlie and Peyton to be like grown-ass women. I thought they were like 12 and 13.
They're grown-ass women.
This whole time in my head, Charlie and Peyton are like preteens.
Yeah, no. They are, they're grown-ups. They are, well, let's think about this. They've got to be very low 20s, right?
Yeah, yes, but they're not as young as I thought they were.
You thought
No, I really thought they were like,
somebody Rory's age would show up.
well, maybe, yes.
Like a 5 or 6-year-old. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, that would be amazing. Let me ask you, how did you feel about the whole season? Did you enjoy it? I mean, I really enjoyed this.
I loved every fucking second of it. I
Mhm.
loved every second.
Me too. Me
And
too.
I'm gonna miss some of these people. Like, Gabagool and Kathy need to be in my life in some capacity. Like,
Kathy will be joining us later,
oh
correct?
god, great. Oh,
Guys, we were supposed to record this on Saturday, and Stephanie had a really hard work week and she was just burned out. And she said to me, "Can we record Sunday? Because if you want Kathy, I can't give her to you." And I was like, "Well, forget it. It's off."
that's exactly what I said. I just
Yeah,
couldn't.
then forget
Kathy
it.
was Kathy was tight. She was in the archives.
We can't have an episode of Golden Batch without Kathy weighing in on this bullshit.
Can we talk about how fucking great she looked?
I mean, she looked good, but I feel like she's had so many fillers pumped into that face. I
I
don't know
know.
what's going
I
on
don't
there.
care. I'm here for her. She's my fucking
I
queen
mean,
and I love her. I
to
love
each your own, whatever. But I mean, she looks fine. I love Kathy. I love Gabagool. I wish Gabagool would be the next Golden Bachelorette. Could you imagine?
no. I
Oh
feel
my
like
god.
she's the kind of broad that, like, after a couple of drinks with the guys, she's, like, bench pressing the shortest guy in the room.
She's smoking a cigar.
Cigar, yes!
She 100% smokes cigars when she has a couple
Yes,
drinks in
she
her.
does. Yes, she
Mhm,
does.
mhm.
Oh, I love
Yep.
her. I love her. I love her. Oh, I love her so much.
She's amazing. All right, so Stephanie has notes. This is the Golden Bachelor, season 1, the finale. Take us away,
Where
girl.
the fuck to even start? This
I know.
episode was so fucking long, and I have way too many notes, and I'm gonna try really hard to just blow through them.
Okay, sounds good. I
So I'm
mean, we
just
really only care about a few important things. All right,
yes.
go ahead.
So blah 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 in the beginning. Um, Gerry is
We're
talking
off
to
to
the
a good start.
camera.
Blah,
Blah
blah,
blah blah. Yeah.
blah.
Blah 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 blah. Gerry is talking to the camera and he's telling us, what about each of the women. And he says when he's with Leslie, they become lost in each other. Words become unnecessary because they're just busy banging. Okay, you guys?
Can I do it in the Gary voice?
Oh, please
When
do.
I'm with Leslie, words don't even matter. All I care about is banging her head off the headboard.
On the other hand, I had a great date with Teresa in the beginning, but then we had quite a lull.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
since that overnight, things are
Uh,
looking different. And I'm just like, "Bow, chicka, bow, bow."
yeah,
What did
what
she
happened
do in this?
overnight?
Was she swinging from like the fucking chandelier? Because that's all we hear is this overnight. Something happened and I need to know what it was.
Can I be
What do
really
you
gross
think?
for a minute? Can I be really
Please.
gross for a
Of
minute?
course.
Guys, fast forward 30 seconds if you don't want to hear me say something really gross. Never mind. I don't even know if I want to say.
Oh God.
Do you think she blew him to completion?
Well, it probably didn't take long. Do you think?
Wow.
I
Mom,
mean,
if only you could see me now, Mom. You'd be so proud of me.
if only you could see me now. I love it. So
Anyway,
anyhow, so the
but she does
daughters are
seem the
there.
type, right, that she would put in all that work. Yeah,
Fucking course she does. That's
yeah,
why she won.
yeah.
So we
Okay.
meet his daughters, Jenny and Angie. Again, not what I was expecting.
Mm-mm,
Pleasantly
mm-mm.
surprised by how normal
Mhm.
they were.
Yep, they're pretty cool.
I took notes on the meeting of the families and like the girls and the women. I think it's pretty boring. I don't think anything really
Yeah,
great
yeah.
happened.
They
So
were very impressed with Teresa.
Teresa, yes. And you could see with Leslie, they were less impressed, but she was laying on that victim card pretty heavy.
Well, and I think Leslie kinda blew it with them
I do
when they
too.
asked her, like, "Would you accept our father's proposal?" And she was kinda like, I'm
I
really
know.
scared about being committed to somebody."
I know.
If I'm a daughter, I'm gonna be like,
Mhm. Peace.
yeah,
Yeah. Not happening.
Mhm.
So, blah, blah, blah. That's all I've got. And we're just going to fast forward to the good stuff because where I feel like this shit really picks up is when he's outside on the bench after all the meetings with the daughters, and you see him with Teresa, and they're just making out hardcore.
I
I
could
knew
do without this.
instantly. Yeah. And then we jump over, and he's on the same bench with Leslie, and there's a huge shift. And I
There's a
feel it,
yeah.
and so the fuck does she.
There's a
Yikes.
big shift a la Brennan and Emily on Married at First Sight this week. Big
Mhm.
shift. Big shift. Just silence.
I haven't
I
watched
don't need to see
it
them making out, just like I don't need to see
yet.
Hope and Doc making out on Virgin River. No, no,
Agreed,
no, 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 no.
agreed, agreed. So we're gonna fast forward again to the dates, and
Okay.
we're just gonna jump right into this date
Go
with
ahead.
Leslie.
Take us there.
Poor Leslie looks really nervous, and I feel bad for her. She's beautiful, she's so fucking gorgeous, and she's saying, she's confident in what she has, what they have, but she's scared, and I'm thinking, "Fuck, I am too." So they're
Mhm.
sitting on the couch drinking wine, and she asks how he is because she can tell,
Yeah.
and he just says he's sorry.
Yeah.
The stress and pressure and time running out, he's losing his shit. She empathizes, but she says she's in tune with him. Something's off. He's apologizing profusely, but he's made up his mind 100%.
Mhm.
And he asks for a fresh start. Okay? Okay? Notice how
Mhm.
he talks to her. Why does he
Yeah,
do this?
I don't
He
know. I didn't I know exactly what you're talking
he,
about.
like, talks at her like she's a kid, like he's trying to convince her. Like, when you throw the "okay?" question mark at the end of, like, your thought,
Mhm. Mhm. By
I'm
the
not
way,
into
I
this.
just wanna pause right here and say a listener emailed me the Hollywood Reporter article that tells us the truth about Gerry.
Oh, yes.
We'll address that at the end. Let's
Let's
just go
do.
through with what we saw
Please.
without that,
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
being interfering. Yeah.
So Leslie gives him a gift, and the minute he opens it, I'm like, "Ugh, damn it, she didn't." Dude, listen up, everybody.
What was the
Guys,
gift? I forget.
it was like a fucking memory book of all their dates and
That's
photos,
right.
and I'm like,
That's right. That's
"Ugh."
right. The one date
The
they
one
had
date
on the quads
on the
when he
quads,
yeah,
yes, and
terrorized
I'm
her.
just thinking like, "Guys don't
Oh, and
want
then he made
this."
her rappel down a fucking cliff. Right.
Cliff,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
"Every moment you've chronicled is so much fun. Meeting you is a blessing." Like, well, come on.
You gotta
So,
stop doing that because you're slipping into Kathy.
I'm slipping into Kathy.
Yeah, you slip
So,
into Kathy a little bit when you get in. I could hear her. I could hear her coming
alright,
through.
alright, I'm gonna
Okay.
try really hard.
You have to let me do it in the weird
I know.
Barney voice.
In the
Okay.
Barney voice, I know. So, she tells him that she loves him, and he says, "That's such a special sentiment." My god, Gerry, just shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Just
Boy,
shut
that makes me
up.
feel special when you tell me you
Mhm.
love me. You
I
know what
know.
he is? You could pull his lines, some of his lines, and put them in a Teddy Ruxpin soundtrack.
Oh,
Mhm,
Amy, that I
mhm,
had a Teddy
mhm,
Ruxpin. Oh, I
mhm.
have stories of him. He was
Imagine
haunted.
squeezing the Teddy Ruxpin, right?
Oh,
And he would say, "That makes me feel special." He would
yeah,
say Gary's lines. Oh my god, I
I
nailed it.
know.
That's what it is.
That's totally what it is, and I had
Mhm.
a Teddy Ruxpin that I begged for in, like, 1986 or something ridiculous, and he used to start talking in the middle of the night when I was sleeping, and it would scare the shit out of me, so I hid him in the
Nothing
back of
like
my
nightmare
closet. Yeah,
fuel. Jesus
seriously.
Christ. What if he
I
started saying
know.
Gary's things like, "Gee, Leslie, I appreciate that you let me bang you in the overnight
Oh
suite."
god. Dude, so then he's just like, "I think it's time for me to go."
Mhm.
Oh, and he leaves, and I'm just, "Dude, this is so bad." And then I notice as he's walking out that she's in room 221, and I'm like, "That's it. It's the odd number. Stay away from odd numbers, everybody, because
I
'cause they're
agree
bad
with you on
luck,
this. I agree with you on this. It's
bad
a weird
luck."
thing we both have, but it is true.
Mhm. So he's
Mhm.
crying in the stairwell, she's sobbing in the room, and then he decides that he has to go back and make it even worse, and he
Mhm.
does. So basically, he goes back and he says, "It's been difficult, and I've made a decision on how I want to go about this. I have fallen in love with Teresa, and that's the direction I'm going to take. And she's like, so everything you said to me was a lie? Pretty much, yeah. And he's like,
Uh,
oh, well, you could say it in the Barney voice, but the short of it is that he felt those things in the moment. He got caught up in his emotions because he was letting himself feel the process 100% with every woman.
you
And
have to
that's
go.
what
How
he
did
did.
how did we used to get Teddy Ruxpin to talk? Did you squeeze something on
It
him? I
was his
forget.
ear. Didn't you used to like pinch
Okay,
his
so
the thing on his
you go bink bink,
bink,
and that'll
bink
be
on
you
the
squeezing
ear?
his ear. Okay, go
I
ahead.
think it was the ear.
All
Bink,
right, go ahead.
bink.
Well, I'm sorry that I banged you and left you, but sometimes banging just isn't enough.
This is just how my life always goes. No one ever chooses me. Just doesn't matter
Oh,
anymore.
girl. Okay, I want to say
You
two
got
things about this.
I know.
Number one, I do appreciate that he did it this way without making her put on, like she said, that $60,000 dress
I
and
Me
standing in
too.
Costa Rica and,
Me too.
being humiliated.
Me too.
I'm glad he did it this way. But number two, Leslie, you dodged a bullet, girl.
Big time.
Hmm.
Big
This is not
time.
the right guy for you. He's
No.
just not. You would have been bored with him.
Dude, we have been
Although,
saying that. No, we have been saying that from the beginning.
would he? You know what though?
Yeah,
I don't know. He took her rock climbing and shit. Who
I
knows?
know.
Who knows?
Who
But
There's
I
no
don't
way
think
to know.
I don't think he needs enough fixing for Leslie, if you know what I mean.
There's no way to know. So she's
Hmm.
sobbing, he's hugging her, he feels terrible. You can tell that the dude feels bad, you know?
Hmm.
He's like, "Don't think that way." And she's like, "Well, you know what, Gerry, no offense, but I can think whatever the fuck I want right now." I'm like, "Whoa."
And the live
Oh,
studio audience, including Gabagool, was like, "Woohoo! You go,
mhm,
girl! You go!"
mhm.
And did you see Ellen? Ellen had some amazing eye rolls.
Yes, she did.
Like they almost went back in her head. She was
Mhm.
rolling her eyes so
I even
hard.
took some
Yeah.
pictures, and
Hmm.
I'll
It
post
was
them
pretty
in the
good.
group later. Yep.
Yeah.
I just feel terrible because she's like, "I'm heartbroken once again, and now I have to do it in front of the whole world for the whole world once again to see how broken I am." And
Yeah.
that was so hard.
Yep. Yep.
But at the end of the day, she wants him to be happy, and Teresa's a great girl, and that's it. He leaves, and she's
Did you notice they're constantly zooming in on the women, but mostly Faith?
yes. I don't know. I've got some great shots of Gabagool.
Oh, our girl. Okay.
So Hot Guy comes out to give Gerry a hug,
Hot
and
guy is
then
Jesse Palmer.
he's Hot Guy. So
Okay.
then Gerry, we finally see the scene that we've been seeing clips of every week about how he took a good person and broke their heart and blah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So then we're gonna
Squeeze the
fast
Teddy Ruxpin. Squeeze the Teddy Ruxpin.
pink pink.
She does it up by her ear, guys. It's so cute. Do it again just for me.
Do you want to take a video of it?
No, I don't know how to do that. Anyway. Um Sometimes I feel like a big piece of shit because I took a girl's heart and stepped all over it. Anyway, go on.
All right. So we're gonna fast forward to the live.
Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words.
And we've got
Mm-hmm.
our girl Leslie at the live with Hot Guy.
Mm.
And we're gonna reenact
She
some of this action.
looks amazing.
We're gonna reenact. I'm gonna
Oh,
be Hot Guy, you're
okay.
gonna be Leslie.
Okay. All right.
So, how are you
Mama,
feeling?
mama, mama,
So,
mama. God.
Leslie, how are you feeling, Leslie? Tell us how
Oh,
you're feeling.
I mean, I have a little bit of a wine hangover, but
Tell us
do I have
how
dog hair on my clothes?
So,
um,
Leslie, I
I
want
don't
you
know.
to
I feel
tell us
okay.
how
I mean,
Leslie, I really want you to tell us how you're so humiliated, and this is the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your
I
whole
mean,
life.
I
Tell us
mean,
how embarrassed you are.
I don't remember much of that date. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had to do
Well,
like 2 bottles of wine to even let that guy near me.
Leslie,
But me, I
tell us
usually date like young guys, young hot guys, and this guy, like, he's got the wrinkly
mm,
balls and stuff. I
yeah.
don't know.
I
I
mean,
can't.
Leslie, but you really need to tell us. No one ever chooses you. Doesn't that feel terrible? And now you're doing it in front of America?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us.
Well,
Tell
I
us
mean,
how
when I was 3, my father left me.
Oh, that's terrible, and now you're being left on national television.
And then Jeff, the biker that I married the first time, he cheated on me with the nanny, and I don't even does he have kids?
Andy,
Wait, she does have kids.
what
You're
was
right.
he thinking?
You're right. It was way over the top. Way over the top,
Way
Jesse
over the
Palmer.
hot guy, sir,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we get our Gerry to come out, and he talks to Leslie. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
give it to him because he just lets her rail at him, which she
He does.
basically does.
And I want to say something, and I'm sure you can agree to this because your father
Mhm,
had what, 6 daughters?
mhm.
5 daughters?
5.
My father, who has 2 strong daughters,
Mhm.
would act the same way. There's been many times my dad has been like, "I'm just gonna sit here and take my
Yes,
lashings." Yeah.
a million bazillion
Gary
percent.
is 100% a man who is
Raised
surrounded
daughters.
by mostly women.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
Mhm.
So, she's basically just saying, like, I fell in love with you for so many reasons. And then she starts to list them, and it was really sad. The
Mhm.
way your eyes sparkle when you look at me, and the way your nose crinkles when you talk to me. And I'm just like, oh, I'm feeling so
Mhm.
sad for her.
Hit the Teddy Ruxpin.
Bink, bink.
One of the reasons I fell in love with you is how hard you love me.
Oh, wah,
Mm.
wah.
Wah, wah.
So she basically says, dude, you fucking blindsided me. You painted a picture of what our life would look like together, and you had the choice not to tell me those things, but you did anyway. Why?
Okay, I wanna put my hand up here and interject.
Okay.
What was that's the point of the show.
I know
That's
him.
what they have to do.
I
He
know.
can't make it super obvious that Teresa's his choice from the get-go, then we don't have a show.
I know.
You know what I
I
mean? Like,
know.
you are Leslie, you are not the only second place runner up to be banged and discarded, my girl.
He says something that I thought was pretty messed up, though. He says, I did get caught up in moments and said I loved you. And in that moment, I meant it. I believed you were my person until I suddenly realized you weren't. It didn't go wrong. It was just better with someone else. Oh,
Ooh. So I think what he's trying to say,
I
if
know.
I can woman splain the man speak here,
Yeah.
I think what he's trying to say is like, this is not
Well,
your fault. It's
yes.
just somebody else rose up higher. And I get that. I get what he's trying to say.
Me too. It's just, it's
Mhm.
hard to hear, man.
Is Jesse
So,
Palmer married? I think he and Leslie would make a good couple.
hmm, hot
He
guy.
was a
Let's
bachelor, wasn't he?
think so. Let's see if we can get, would you cover that Bachelor if that was
100%. Like a cougar bachelor, I would 100%. They need
yes.
Leslie as the Golden Bachelorette, but all the guys are in their 30s. I'm
Yes.
here for that. I'm here
I'm
for
here
that.
too. Signing up.
Mhm.
All
Mhm.
right, so we're gonna slink over to Teresa.
Mm.
The best part of this whole thing, Gerry says, when he was looking at the volcano, he was just asking Tony, "What do I do?" Do I need
Wait
to
a
do we have to
second.
go any farther?
What?
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 Yeah. I was staring at the volcano and
Hit the
asking
Teddy Ruxpin.
Bing, bing.
My former wife comes to me in the form of hot lava.
Oh my god, I
Hmm.
can't. So anyway,
There's
Teresa.
something about that big mountain oozing hot liquid that reminds me of my former wife.
Dear God.
Ugh.
Alright, I'm going. I'm pretending I didn't
Okay,
hear that.
go on.
Teresa goes on to tell us how Billy didn't get down on one knee because they were, like, 12 and,
Ugh. Did you see the
whatever.
picture she put on Instagram?
I
We gotta look at
did.
the picture. Oh, you saw them. Okay.
So then Hot Guy walks her down the steep hill of the jungle to our Gare Bear who's on a tiled platform in the middle of the jungle, and I'm just like,
As
"Why
you
are we
do.
doing this
As you
here?"
do.
Like, what?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, she starts with what I felt like was her PowerPoint presentation on why she was the one. And she says, Gerry, I know sometimes it feels like the whole world thinks that love is only for the young. But after Billy died, and all I heard was blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah,
I have a
blah.
theory.
End of
I have a
PowerPoint.
theory. I have
Mhm.
a theory. She knew that she could use Billy's memory to manipulate this game, and that's what she did.
I 100% agree with you because I have said from the beginning that she's a mastermind, like, manipulator. I'm
In
telling
that
you.
tiny suitcase and those tiny clothes.
Mhm.
Kathy tried to warn us, we
Yep,
didn't listen.
yep.
Mhm, mhm.
So Gary's standing on the tiled platform and he says to Teresa, "How did a guy from nowhere, Indiana, end up in Costa Rica at 72 looking for love?"
You signed up for a game show, weirdo.
So he gives this ridiculous speech about how much they had in common and their diner date and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm,
And he woke
mhm.
up and has all these mixed feelings of, how did I get here? He's like, and then I realized you're the person. What he says,
I
no,
know,
he says
I
it
know.
fucked up. I realized you're not the right person for me to live with. You're the person I
Oh,
can't live
oh,
without.
and she almost has a heart
Heart
attack.
attack. I almost did too because I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
Wouldn't it be amazing if he
And
was like, "I have come t" hit the Tay-Rex bin.
pink, pink.
"I have come to my senses, and I need some more gabagool."
So then
Oh, I
I
would've loved it.
actually me too. I actually have in my notes that Kathy and Gabagool are losing their shit in the audience right now, and I took a picture of it, and it's so great. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna post it in the group when we're done.
Okay, alright.
I have a couple things that I'm gonna post, and one of them I'm really excited about.
Gabagool's like, "Oh, were you talking to me? I'm in the kitchen
The
making meatballs.
meatball, yeah.
Where's Luigi? Where's Mario?"
So Kathy, Teresa says yes, they're engaged. Wah, wah, and I'm sad because
Okay,
this
now we need to cut to Kathy here, okay? She needs
Mm.
to, so why don't you go get some water, and I'll talk to Kathy, and then when you get back, we'll pick this back up, okay? Hi, Kathy. It's Amy Archer again. We've spoken
Oh,
several times throughout the season. I'm sure you
oh,
remember me.
Amy, of course I remember you. Thank you so much for having me on the show again. This is so nice.
Kathy, you were looking amazing during this
Oh,
episode.
I
Did
am
you have some work
feeling
done, Kathy?
a real lady never tells Amy.
Kathy, what do you think of this? Like, tell me, first of all, what are your thoughts on Gary picking Teresa? And
Amy.
how did you know? How did you know?
Amy, I told you bitches from the beginning that Teresa was manipulating this whole fucking situation, and she got exactly what she wanted. Wah, wah. Is anybody surprised? I'm not surprised. You're not surprised. None of us are surprised. Gabagool and I drank so many bottles of wine laughing at this shit over the last couple of weeks. You know,
Kathy, do you feel sorry for Leslie? Do you think she'll be okay? What are your words for Leslie here?
My words for Leslie are that I really think she needs to find a good therapist because she's dealing with so much trauma that's coming into her life these days. And I really think she's got to work on herself before she can get into a relationship, especially with a guy like Gary. Mm.
Um, Let me ask you this question, Kathy. I was stunned by a little footage we had of Gary's thighs. Have you seen a little bit more of Gary's body than we have? And is it rocking?
You know, Amy, there were a few times that I thought I heard some noise coming from Leslie's room, and I
Ooh.
tried to take a sneak peek in there, but every time I tried to get in, Teresa would, like, intercept like we were playing pickleball, you know, on the pickleball court when Sandra just stole that shot. It was like it was happening all over
Yes.
again. Let me ask you something, Amy.
Oh, okay.
So suppose, the Golden Bachelorette, and it's me. Would you cover that show?
Oh my
Would I
God, Kathy. I would cover that in a heartbeat. In fact,
okay.
I'm gonna word a strongly worded letter to ABC right now and demand that you are the next Golden
I would
Bachelorette.
really appreciate that because I am not done telling my story.
Well, we want to hear it, Kathy. Thank you so much for being with us. Do you have
Thank
any
you, Amy.
parting words for Teresa? Any little bit of wisdom you could give her
Oh,
on her journey with
Teresa.
Gary?
Oh, Teresa, girlfriend, zip it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Steph, you missed her. She just left.
Oh, so thirsty.
I'm
I hate
so
you.
thirsty. I was just that entire time, my mouth open under the kitchen faucet.
No, if the 4 people that are listening to this, no one is left.
Okay. So
Alright,
so we got some. Listen, Kathy wants us to cover her if she's the Gold Bachelorette.
and
I'm
we are
there. I'm
fucking
there.
going to, you
I'm there.
motherfuckers.
I'm there. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
so
keep
very
going.
quickly, I just wanna cover a few things on the couch with Gerry and Saw.
Okay.
So, first of all, I do have to say that Teresa she looked beautiful.
Sure.
And I really picked on her a lot and called her Saw, and I don't really feel bad about it because it's kind of the truth, but she did look beautiful, and I just want to acknowledge it. But I also want to acknowledge that I think she's wearing a wig or some kind of crazy hair extensions because the
Mm,
hair was bad. Anywho,
okay.
the entire time they're sitting on this couch talking to Hot Guy, all of the stuff going on. I am so fucking distracted by Gerry mouthing everything that she's saying.
Okay.
I have
Somebody
a
asked.
video of it and I recorded it and I'm going to post it.
Okay, somebody asked about this in another group that I'm in, and here's my answer to that.
Okay.
That's an audio impairment thing
Is
because I
it?
do that and I'm hard of hearing.
Oh.
Yes, yes, that is 100% a hard
Now
of hearing
see,
thing.
I truly never thought I
Mhm,
always think of
mhm.
it as like a mom thing. Like,
No.
I'm not throwing shit my husband is hard of hearing and
Yeah,
wears
yeah,
a
yeah,
hearing
yeah,
aid. Like,
and
I'm
so
not
is your
throwing
wife over here.
right, I'm
Yes.
throwing no shade, I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
No,
to me
several people have noticed that, and
to
that
me
is
yeah,
yeah.
to me, it was more like the mom, like, mouthing what the kid's supposed to say, "Telling me what
Mm-mm.
you did in school today," and they're like
It
you know what I
it's
mean? Like,
almost like
I
I
totally get it now.
process things slower,
I
and
totally
I
get it.
have to do that. Yeah, yeah,
I
yep,
just noted it. It's kind of, like, a little bit endearing because he does it to everyone.
yeah.
Now that you're saying it, it never even occurred to
Mhm,
me. So,
mhm.
come at me, everybody. I
No,
didn't
no,
mean
no,
anything like
several
that,
people
like,
have thought it
truly.
was
But I
weird
did
and have
take
asked
the
about it.
video, and it's really kinda funny.
And it's one of those things, like, unless you are hard of hearing, you would never think that those 2 things are connected.
And I truly never
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Yep.
No clue. So, hot guys asking what happened in the overnight that changed
Mhm,
everything.
mhm, mhm.
And our
Oh,
boy
oh, hit
Gerry,
the tiny rock spin.
bink, bink.
A true gentleman doesn't kiss and tell or get blown and tell.
No,
Oh,
he
tiny
says,
rock spin.
Jesse, how often do you ask your parents that question?
Which I thought was pretty
Oh,
great. I thought was pretty great because
it was
Jesse
pretty funny.
Palmer is all of us in this, and he's
Yes.
like, "Oh god, I don't wanna
Oh,
hear this."
oh, he totally is. But he just keeps saying there were moments in conversations, and he saw so many things revealed in this overnight, and no one knows what the fuck they're talking about. We're asking, the world is asking, hot guy's asking. Teresa just says, I knocked his boots off. Ew. And then we pan
Mhm,
to the family
mhm.
who's just like, oh, like the rest of
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
With my kisses. Come
Oh, come
on.
on.
And she
She's not a broad like Leslie.
no, she's not.
Leslie'd be like, "I'm not telling you what happened in that fucking suite because I'm under a gag order and it's still being investigated."
Absolutely. And Teresa kind of wraps it up and just says, she hopes people learn that there's no age limit in love and don't waste any time telling people that you love
So
them,
why do you
or not
think he
telling them,
picked
blah, blah,
Teresa?
blah. I can't figure it out.
I
I
think I
can't
know.
figure
I
it
think
out.
I
I
know.
think you probably know because
Mhm.
you figured this out long before I did. So I'm going to have you share your thoughts because
No, I
I'm,
don't I just think so there's 2 things.
mhm,
One is in the article, in the Hollywood Reporter article, they interviewed this woman that he supposedly lived with for, like, almost 2 years after Tony
Carolyn,
died. Yeah.
Car-
A lot of the things she said, we don't have verifiable evidence of this, right? Like,
mhm,
if
mhm,
he weight shamed her, we don't have evidence of that. I mean, it's just her word against his.
mhm,
So, whatever.
mhm.
Um, but she did say that, like, retired from his restaurant job in 1985 or something, and then
Mhm.
had all these odd jobs. And then he has responded and said, "Look, I retired and my restaurant was super profitable," which means he probably
Mhm.
retired well.
Mhm.
And then he claims a lot of the jobs he did were because he was retired and bored and wanted
Mhm.
to do something,
Mhm.
but also that he liked giving back to the community.
I know, I saw that.
So I don't know, if he's financially struggling, but
Mhm.
Teresa is fucking loaded.
Yeah, I know.
So there's that. And I don't think I'm not implying that he's using Teresa for her money, but I don't think he's in a position where he can support Leslie either.
No, I don't know. I don't know what I think.
But
I
here's the thing I
truly
really
don't. I
think
don't
was
know what I think.
telling. Here's the thing I really
Okay.
think was telling. He said, I don't know if he said it to Leslie or if he said it, yeah, I think he said it to Leslie or in front of Leslie. He said, no, he might just said to Jesse, Teresa knows how to nourish a long term relationship because she's been in
Ooh.
one. She had that marriage of 40 years. Like she knows. And I think
Yep.
Leslie just
I
had a
know.
little too much baggage for him.
I think so too. I think you're right. I think she was the safer choice,
Mm
Teresa.
hmm. Mm hmm.
Um, and I think Leslie was too much of a gamble,
Yeah, and I feel like
unfortunately.
he's probably like, "Look, I'm 72.
Mhm.
What do I have 10 really strong active years left, and then who knows what happens after that?
Right.
I don't wanna be dealing with getting you out of financial trouble, dealing with 2 ex-husbands, dealing with this, dealing with that." Like, I just want somebody whose life is already set and can just bink, go
And
right
we
into
can just
mine.
live together, like mesh
Mhm.
lives and yeah, exactly. I think
And
you're
and
right.
I hate to throw Leslie under the bus like that because we honestly don't know much about her life,
Oh, we're
but
projecting.
I feel like and I love Leslie, and I
Mhm.
think he should have picked her because I think that his life would be more of an adventure with her, but,
Mm,
um,
yeah.
I just feel like, yeah, like, he wanted the safe choice, and that's Teresa.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and she knows how to be married, and I think they really bonded over the fact that they're widowed.
I think so too. I think that's a huge part of it. A
Me too.
huge part of it.
Did
But
you see they're moving to South Carolina?
I did. What do you
So
think of
the lake
that?
house, Tony's dream lake house, I guess just fuck
No,
off?
I know. Do you think it
Yeah.
was like a fuck off thing, or do you think he sold it, or do you think the kids
I'm
have
wondering if he gave it to one of the kids.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
or he's
Like,
keeping it as like
honestly,
a
that's what
family?
I would do with my house because Timmy built it. It has so much
Mhm,
sentimental value. We
sure.
would never sell it. I would give it to one of my kids if they
Of
wanted it.
course, of course.
And by give, I mean charge full market price.
Obviously.
But, no, I was happy with the season. I enjoyed it. I don't need to cover their wedding.
I know.
I really don't
I
need to.
know.
They
I
get
am
spoiler alert, they get married.
I know. I am really sad though that it's over because I really did form a likeness to some of these ladies, and I'm really gonna miss them, like, I'm not kidding.
Me
Gabagool
too.
and Kathy are, like, my queens.
And Ellen, don't forget about Ellen.
And Ellen, but, like, Gabagool and Kathy are the broads that I want here, like, on Thanksgiving when we're drinking wine at the end of dinner and we're just getting nuts.
Kathy
You know what I mean? Like,
100% would smoke a cigar as well.
yes, and so would I.
And
I mean,
I'm
I
not
had
saying
never
that's
have. I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
saying that that is a dig in any way. I'm saying, like,
no.
there's a certain coolness to a
Yes.
woman who could pull off smoking a cigar.
100%, and I am not one of them, but I will try.
I'm not either. I'd be choking and gagging, but that's
For
just me.
sure. I'm gonna miss them though, and I'm gonna miss talking about this, and I'm gonna miss
Me
recording
too. I'm
these.
gonna miss Kathy.
Me too.
Yeah. All right,
Well,
guys. If you haven't already, check out our other shows. Steph and I do Married at First Sight.
we do, and I'm gonna say keep putting your comments in our Facebook group because I think Kathy's gonna start reading some comments of the week.
Oh, Kathy.
Remember we
Kathy.
talked about it.
Leave us a review, guys.
Yeah, maybe
We got
Kathy will read the reviews.
we got a positive review about our perimenopause talk.
Really?
Isn't that nice?
That is nice because let me tell
Yeah.
you something, this past weekend was a fucking struggle.
There we
I
go.
am
There we
not in
go.
a good way, you guys. When I
And
tell
I'm s
you,
Go ahead.
I slept maybe an hour and a half last night
Mm,
between changing clothes and sweating and freezing and sweating and then freezing and sweating.
mhm, mhm.
Finally, at, like 3:52, and I'm not even exaggerating, is when I came downstairs and turned the television on, and we were back to Gilmore Girls because I just have to give in.
And I'm just lying in bed with a real low-key anxiety, thinking about ways in which my children are gonna get hurt,
I
Timmy's gonna
know.
leave me, the planet's gonna catch on fire, just stuff like
Everyday
that.
stuff. Yep.
Mhm, mhm,
What's
yeah,
happening in the world.
yeah.
Although I did watch an episode of Gilmore Girls, but then I watched 2 episodes of The Crown.
So good,
Yeah,
so good.
really good.
Amanda and I are covering The Crown, guys,
I
so
know,
check
I
those
know.
episodes out. Also, I guess we can announce our next plan. Do you wanna announce our plan?
We can.
So, we're not set on exactly what yet, but Steph and I are gonna do either a Hallmark movie or a Lifetime movie.
Mhm.
So that will be coming
Mhm.
at you around Christmas time.
Yep.
So we'll
Should we
see
take,
how
like,
see
a
how you like
poll?
that.
Maybe, like,
Maybe
as
I
a
could put
group?
some options in the Facebook group. Backdoor Friends, if you're not in there, link is in the show notes, get in there.
Get in there, it's a good
Um,
time.
yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll pick a few options and we'll
Mhm.
throw it in there.
Yes. That's gonna be fun.
We're
You
looking
know,
for something we came to
ridiculous.
that because we're looking for something to fill the Virgin River
Void.
hole that we have in our lives
Mhm,
right now,
mhm.
although the next 2 episodes are amazing.
I can't wait.
And, you know, I feel like these movies will do that. The
I hope so.
absurdity, the
Yeah.
ridiculousness, the
I mean,
cheesiness.
we're not doing it to, like, win any, like, awards. It's literally
Mm-mm,
just for
mm-mm.
fun, so
Yeah,
it's a good
yeah.
time. Pick a
Although if
good
we
one.
get nominated for an Emmy, like, I'll take
I
it.
mean, I'll take it. Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
for sure.
Alright, guys, thanks
Definitely.
so much for listening. We've really enjoyed covering this show. We'll be back if they do a Golden Bachelorette or Golden
Yay!
Bachelor Season 2. We will
Let's do it.
100% be back.
Nice.
And follow the show, share it, leave us a review, and jump on Little Miss Recap Extra, which is
Mhm.
our subscription service. And there you get Sister Wives content, ad-free content, and you just help support the show, and it really helps out.
Which
So,
is great.
all right. Thanks, my
Bye,
friend.
friends. Love your
Talk to you
bones.
soon. Bye.
Bye.